Jay-Z, your community leader, your main man, across the globe. Jay-Z is seen by many as the leading light, the leading influence, the streets, the voice of the streets. Jay-Z is your today's Martin Luther King, Malcolm Little, rolled into one. The issue is, however, well, it has been alleged, as you like to say, according to Epstein documents now being released, that Jay-Z, in fact, is a plant put in place for purposes of damage control and damage limitation. Simply there to keep you all in your place. Now, this is going to be a speculative. I'm going to have a speculative approach here. This is going to be strictly speculative, okay? And simply put, just going to look at a few things. Okay? I've already covered the allegation regarding Pusha T and Jay-Z and the Epstein files. That, for me, I think is a false assertion, in my opinion. Okay? Maybe someone got carried away, overthought something or something, and sent something off to the police and the FBI, whatever. That's something different. Here I'm looking at Jay-Z again, putting him under the microscope. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting read. Obviously, I'm keeping it as tight and simple as I can. But, there's a few things that need to be looked at with regards to Jay-Z. Okay? Yes, there's speculation with regards to him and Aaliyah, his age and Aaliyah's age at the time, Beyonce and Beyonce's age at the time. That's all speculative stuff. You know what I mean? In fact, that's quite an impressive lineup, actually. Okay? So let's not call me a hater. Because to have a Beyonce and Aaliyah on your list of, as a man, to have that in your list is pretty impressive. But hey, let's move it on. Let me not drag things out. Basically looking at Jay-Z, it seems not an easy musical plant, but he's a black community plant. Okay, I'm gonna go straight in here and reference what was said in the Epstein documents and bring this all together and bring this to light. Okay, now according to the Epstein documents, looking at an email sent by Staley to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, Jeff Staley being the former CEO of Barclays, and in particular with regards to this, the Barclays Center. Okay, of which we're gonna cover that in a moment. But this is what was said, which may give some indication as to why there's some backlash on TikTok now, as well as other sites where people are saying, "Hold on, Jay-Z, he's a bit caught up here, isn't he? Is he a plant? What's going on here?" Yeah. Okay, so simply put, this is the email, Monday the 3rd of February 2014. Okay. You want to know why we're not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks and hip cars with white women. The group that should be in the streets have been bought off by Jay-Z. Okay. Now that's open to interpretation, because some people have read this and I think they've walked away with a different perspective of what he's trying to say here. What he's trying to say is, where there's some civil unrest, or where there's ill feeling among any community or group, okay. In particular, we're talking about us, black folk, right. Where there's any ill feeling, right, and he's relating that to Sao Paulo, The reason why we're not Sao Paulo is because we've got a Jay-Z there, we've got our boy, our little plant, nulling the revolution, nulling the movement. That's what that means, okay? So in this case, He's referring to the regentrification, yeah, that took place in Brooklyn, yeah. Talking about the Barclays Center, okay. We're gonna go into that in a minute. And where Jay-Z now, being the figurehead, yeah, because he's from there. He raps about that. I'm from Marcy's son. That's his words. Yep. Now they've elevated him, put him in place. So when the gentrification came along, which normally has backlash, because it's Jay, oh man, he's there, yeah. People are like cool with it. Make sense? So he's there planting there to keep things cool. He'll come out and warm the masses, keep the masses in check. Okay? That's what they mean by not a Sao Paulo. Okay? That's what that's about. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? I mean, let me quickly flash through some of my notes here, yeah? Just to make sure. Obviously, I'm using my phone here, so do give me a pass. But, you know, with regards to that, yeah, with regards to the gentrification of Brooklyn, yeah, right. Obviously, you know, he had a big part in bringing the Nets to the Barclays Center. There's a big, massive development project. Yes, people are saying he brought jobs, and there was economic development to the borough with regards to the gentrification of Brooklyn. There were those who viewed him as a sellout, yeah, because obviously, you know, gentrification leads to, as we know, accelerated displacement, and more importantly, rising rents in whose community? Yours. Your black neighborhoods. So basically what happened was Jay-Z, owner of the Jets at the time, public face of the project, people felt that he's letting them down. In some cases, that's what some of the locals felt. Things move quickly as it is in terms of gentrification, displacements. Obviously, there's always going to be promises that are not fulfilled. And obviously, people are saying, hold on a second. Jay-Z's come along. It's like he's here to mull things over. That's what that's about. Okay? And also, does he not have form with regards to this? I mean, there was the whole thing with Kaepernick, where Kaepernick was obviously, you know, worldwide protesting, making big protests. Okay? With regards to, you know, police brutality, yeah? And his own blackballing in the league, okay? But then again, Jay-Z came along, went in there, and obviously, you know, formed a partnership with the NFL. And obviously, you know, he went in there on the premise of, you know, social justice initiatives, at the same time bringing entertainment, yeah? Which goes back to the point made in the Epstein files, yeah? So obviously he did that, more of a soft shoe approach, okay? But that in turn led to critics, yeah, saying not only was Jay-Z's move a money move, yeah, a corporate soft shoe money move, yeah, but ignored the fight, yeah, and injustices that Kaepernick was fighting for, okay? So in effect, he's watered it down. Does that make sense? Okay? But what did Jay-Z say in response to that? Jay, your hero, your man of the streets, said, I think we're past kneeling. It's time to go into actionable items, meaning we're not going to be in the streets no more rumping the fist, no more protests, no more Molotov cocktails. You know, we're going to do it a different way, a more strategic way. However, those looking in will say, yeah, your way, money, capital, soft shoe approach, yeah, and that is actually being picked up, interestingly, yeah, by the others now, the other folk, the other races, i.e., what was said by the former Barclays CEO. Makes sense now. So it comes together, yeah. So that's what Jess Stanley was saying. He's saying, hold on a second, mate. Look at Sao Paulo. It's like that because they haven't got a Jay-Z there like I had. Well, I put in there what I linked up with, and he watered it all down. He softened it all down. He watered it all down. Yeah. And what do we have now? What we have now is, like I've said, which is, boy, ads hit blacks, quote, and hit cars and hit blacks with Caucasian women. So it's gone from Kaepernick with the fist to right, and so forth. So that brings us to look at Jay-Z again and put him under the microscope again. But in this way, it's going to be different, you know. I mean, this is where it gets a bit tricky here. Okay, this is where it gets a bit tricky. This now is all speculative. This part of what I'm saying here, this part of the audio is going to be speculative. Okay. When we look at Jay-Z, okay. Now those who are more, as I say, conspiracy theory, more of a conspiracy theoretical level. Okay. Let's go back a bit. Yeah. Remember his little link. Yeah, with Marina Abramovich. Yeah. Now she, remember the little dance she did with Jay-Z, that little kind of crazy dance. Some said it was a ritualistic dance. She said it was like a, what did she call it? She called it something else. Another form of dance, she called it. I'll look that up before I close this down, but basically, many people saw that as Masonic. Yeah. Some kind of demon dance. Yeah. Okay. Now, it's been said that she's close friends with the Rothschilds, Bill Gates, Kim Kardashian, a lot of the elites and celebrities. That's speculative. So to keep that open, but that's what I've got by here. Normally, you know, I check my sources, but this is more speculative, okay? So people are saying, hold on, looking at Jay-Z again, looking at how he's linked up with these kind of people, yeah? And, you know, more recently we've had Jaguar Wright saying things, but we stick a pin there now. Because although at the time it was seen as some kind of madness and some kind of craziness she was saying, we need to put these things under the microscope again. So we stick a pin there with regards to her as well. But the bottom line is, we've got the Maria Abramovic kind of thing there. It's Jaguar Wright. And now, Nicki Minaj, of all people. I've already questioned her validity already in terms of saying it because of her own situation. But hey, we don't know what she knows. Maybe she's in the know. You know? I quote, February 2026, rapper Nicki Minaj made a series of explosive, unverified claims on social media accusing Beyonce and Jay-Z of trafficking and sacrificing children. Although it hastens to say she did not provide any evidence to support these claims. Okay? But let's say, let's just take a step back and look what's happened now. I.e. Jay-Z is now flown out of the country as a response to the Epstein files. That could be very different here and say, why fly out and leave the country if you've got nothing to worry about? The thing is, being linked to Harvey Weinstein, is not a good look. It's not a good look. And maybe, there's more to come in the files. We don't know. But hey, a lot's being said. So let me just wrap this up quickly. And it is what it is. Later.